What, where, and how,
And
really didn't scream vampire to me, I'll be honest. But
I mean, it didn't to me either when I said
Until
it.
just
so
now,
until
okay.
just now.
Hello and welcome to the Worldwide Honeymoon Travel Podcast, the podcast that talks about all things couples travel, including destinations, tips, advice, and more. I'm Kat.
I'm Chris.
And this is episode number 268.
There's been a pretty big update since last episode.
We get it. My bracket is wrecked.
Oh, I wasn't saying that.
Oh.
Oh, well, I mean, if you'd like
do you
to
have
talk about
airplane
that.
news or something?
No, there has been no airplane news over the past 24 hours.
Okay, well, that's knock on wood. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, actually, United
No,
this is like a good thing. They united a points pool program where you can like pool your points with other people now.
What?
I think I just saw that.
What does that mean?
It means you can combine your points with other people.
So, like, if I have, say, like 30,000 points and you have 30,000 points,
We can combine it.
we could combine them into like
60,000 points.
Well, yeah, I know how.
You know how math works.
Goodness, I do know how math works. This is going to be a stupid question, but like, what is the benefit of that?
Well, I mean, I know there are times where like, if you have a certain amount of points on United and and I have a certain amount, we have to book our flights separately. So I guess it's a way of booking together, but also think if like we need 60,000 points, say we need like 120,000 points for both of us to fly round trip to Europe.
Okay.
And you have 60,000 or you have like 90,000. I only have like 30,000.
Oh.
We could pull them together and be able to book it after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Got it.
Yeah.
And you cannot do that currently.
No.
Well, that's pretty cool then.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a big issue for us normally because we collect a lot of Chase points. So we would just transfer those points because you can transfer with a person in your household.
I was going to say, this
So
sounds like something we already do.
It's kind of similar to how Chase does it.
Okay.
So
cool.
I guess that's good news for United. I don't know if this is them trying to save themselves after all of the bad news they've had this week.
This is just United having great customer service. I love United. I really do. But let's talk about what you wanted to talk about.
UK lost. I had them winning the whole thing. The University of Kentucky.
That was a tough loss.
It was.
It really was. I was rooting for them to win.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
Sitting right next to you. You wanted them to lose so that I would lose and have to make this pie that we've agreed that the loser has to make.
No, I didn't want them to lose this early, though. I had them losing the next game. But, yeah, it was a good game, though.
I should have predicted. I always predict an upset. That should have been the one I predicted. But
I think a few of your upsets that you did predict have not hit either.
Great.
That's tough, too.
It sucks to lose. What's it like?
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx myself. But yeah, other than that, I don't want to toot my own horn here.
But you're gonna.
But we made a fantastic dinner tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It is called Papas con Rajas, and it is from Bon Appetit.
Mm-hmm.
It is a potato, poblano, jalapeno, onion, garlic, like all like steamed together, and it is the base for tacos.
You slap it on a tortilla.
So good.
Yeah.
It was so
really good. Yeah.
I could eat that over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. That was like one of the best things.
We're having it for lunch tomorrow.
I know. That was like one of the best things that I have I've made in a long time.
Okay. Better than your paella.
No, I would still say that
or your risotto.
No, I am kind of a connoisseur of like long cook rice dishes.
Yeah.
I have somewhat of a local reputation for that.
Amongst what? Local as in like our household?
That is correct. So yeah, I still think that that's like where I shine, but Papas con Rajas.
Yeah. Was that your highlight for this week?
Right there. You mean over the past 24 hours?
Yeah, over the past 24 hours.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the tacos rather than be a sore winner and gloat. So I'm going to pick the tacos.
You're an expert at gloating, so I am very thankful that you're not doing that right now. Thank you.
What is your highlight?
Well, not the whole losing bit. That sucks. But we went to Jukebox last night, one of our favorite bars, and hung out and got some pierogies and watched the game and just got to have some fun hanging out there. That was nice.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
Today we are continuing our series that was recommended to us by a listener. And the name of the game here is we have to plan a trip for the other person, a 2-week trip. And we split it up by continent like we've done with these sorts of series in the past. The trick here is that we cannot include anywhere that either of us has been to. Mm-hmm. So we've already talked about North America. Last episode, we talked about South America, and now we are talking about Europe. I will go first here. This was really, really tough for me because you have been to quite a bit of Europe.
Wait, you went first last episode, so I get to go first.
Did I go first last episode?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
You
I
go.
get to go first.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah,
you go
so
first.
like he said, if you're new tuning in here, yes, this was a listener suggestion to plan a trip for each other to a place we've both never been to. We're doing it for each continent, and to throw, I don't know, a little extra to it, we decided to give each other each 3 words of what our ideal trip or whatever would include. So do you want me to just kick mine off, get started with it?
Yes, but first off, just because I said that you've been to a lot of Europe, I have not been to near the amount of Europe that you have. Mm-mm. So you had a lot more to pick from than I did. Oh no, hold on, but we couldn't plan for a place where either of us has been to.
Yeah, so a lot was off the table. But
a lot was off the table.
I feel like I've been to a lot of Europe, but there's a lot of Europe I have not been to.
Sure.
Yeah, especially as you go more towards Eastern Europe and stuff.
Oh no.
And Scandinavia and stuff. I haven't been up north much. I haven't been.
I am looking at my itinerary.
What?
And I'm really hoping you haven't been here. I don't think you have.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
Okay. Well, your words. Where, what, how, which could not be anything descriptive. I was very confused. Part of me wanted to take this literally and go to some of the mysterious places in Europe, like the Stones of Karnak or in France, or the Stonehenge, or the big ruins, the megalithic ruins in Malta. Just because I loved when I went to the Stonehenge, which is why I couldn't do any of this because I've been to some of these places, but the Stonehenge, I just love listening to it because they give you all these theories, but each time they're and again, we don't know. And so they're just we don't really know what happened. It's just here. But yeah, I thought that would be an interesting take, but obviously we can't do some of those because we couldn't do that. But I do have a fun fact. I did get to see the megalithic ruins in Malta, which are older than Stonehenge, only because I had to go to the bathroom. Because we were coming back from the beach and we saw it. And we're let's go in. But they were closing. And I was oh my gosh, I really have to go to the bathroom. Can I please go? And so I got to run. I ran past it, took a quick photo, went to the bathroom, and then came back. And everyone was did you get a photo?
I did not know that you had been to Malta.
Oh, yeah.
I am really hoping that you have not been. I realize that I don't really. Because, I mean, you've traveled Europe pretty extensively. Before we met.
Yeah, so I studied abroad in Grenoble, France for a spring semester. So I was there 5.5 months and traveled a lot during that time. We did some weekend trips. We had a couple of weeks that we just had off because it's not a normal, in the US, you have a very set schedule with all of your schooling, in the at university and stuff. You always are going to have Mondays at 10 a.m. is going to be physics or something like that. It's your schedule's kind of set versus at least where I went to school in France, it was they're kind of like guest professors. They're not there permanently. So they sort of just kind of fly in. You'll have like maybe half a semester with this one professor and half with another, but it's basically based upon their schedule and when they're free. So like you may have like a week where you don't have class on Friday or Thursday, or there's like a random couple of weeks that we had where we had no class at all, but then we would have other weeks where we had like a lot of classes. So anyway, so we had some time to like go to different places like Italy and like England and Ireland and Malta and like things like that. But yeah, and then I backpacked by myself in Europe. And then when you were studying for the bar, I went with one of my best friends, and we also went to Europe for like 3 weeks.
Yes.
And then, yeah. So
You've covered a lot.
I've covered a lot of space. Yeah.
All right. So my 3 words you said were what, where, how.
Yes.
What were your initial thoughts there? Other than trying to go after the like mysterious, paranormal, mysterious things.
I couldn't. I don't know. I mean, because a lot of things, I mean, there's a lot of historic things throughout Europe that like could kind of cover any of this. I mean, this was such a vague 3 words that I was like, I could really just do anything. But I
was trying to give you some creative liberty here.
Okay. I was like, do whatever I want. But I wanted to do stuff that had some really cool things, like maybe caves, mountains, wine.
What?
How? History.
Where?
Okay, we get it. So lots of really cool things like that. So we're actually going to start in Slovenia.
Ooh.
We're just spending 1 full day in Ljubljana, so the capital of Slovenia, the main city there. Some things to check out. There's lots of cool street art. There's Ljubljana Castle, some bridges. There's beautiful cafes, Dragon Bridge. It's a really cute, quaint city too, and a lot of people really enjoy it. We're going to be swinging back there again towards the end of this segment of the trip, so really a day is kind of all we're going to start with, because we're going to road trip around Slovenia a little bit. And so days...
You are obsessed with road trips as of late.
I like road trips. I think it's a great way to explore places without, I don't know, like I hate being dependent on like the train and all that. I mean, I don't mind it if I'm like just going from city to city, but like...
Right.
I don't know. I found road trips super helpful throughout France because there's a lot of little towns and places that don't have trains that you can like take to get to it and hang out. So, yeah. But anyway, day 1, Ljubljana. Days 2 and 3, Lake Bled.
Ooh, okay, I like that.
That's the famous pretty lake with the mountains on the other side, and it's got the beautiful little island in the middle. But some things to do here, of course, go visit the island, boating on the lake. There's hiking nearby. You can take a rowboat on the lake, Bled Castle, swimming in the lake if it's warm enough, just kind of activities in and around the lake. Lots of great hiking in the area too. And also trying the Bled cream cake. It's like a cake that's like known. It's a famous cake in the area that you can try. That's got like cream and all sorts of different things.
What?
Yeah. So 2 days in Lake Bled. Just okay. I see what you're doing here. How? But Lake Bled is a really cool thing, and I think it's sort of a must visit if you're going to Slovenia.
I like this a lot.
Day 4, we're going to another lake called Lake Bohinj, which is a little less touristy. I think Lake Bled has gotten quite famous, especially for its iconic little island in the middle of the lake with I want to say it's the church. It's a church in the middle of the island. But Lake Bohinj, I think, again, you can swim, hiking, boating. There's waterfalls, so Zavicha Falls, and then also I apologize for my pronunciation, but Ventgar Gorge, a little gorge area. So some hiking, boating, swimming around this lake as well. So cool checking out some of the beautiful nature and scenery of Slovenia.
Awesome.
Day 5, we're going to some caves. There's the Skogen Caves, Postjana Cave, and then also another really cool thing is the Prajama Castle, which is a castle built into the cliffside. And it's a really iconic looking castle you can go visit. So going to some caves during our time in Slovenia, and then go visiting this castle that's built into the cliffside. Day 6 is going to Piran, which is along the Adriatic coast. There's a little bit of a coastline in Slovenia. It's a stunning coastal town. There's beautiful architecture. You could go on the town walls. It's just a beautiful historic town that you can wander through and then perhaps enjoy the Adriatic coast while you're there. Day 7, we're heading back to Ljubljana. Again, you can explore a little bit, but then you're going to spend the rest of that day, which is going to take a while, flying to Georgia, the country, not the state. So you'll be flying into Tbilisi on day 7. Day 8 and 9 is Tbilisi in Georgia, so the capital of Georgia, exploring the old town. There's the Mother of Georgia statue, the Samiba Cathedral, which is one of the tallest churches in the world. There's a bazaar. There's lots of fun neighborhoods. Go on a food tour. There's lots of really great Georgian food to really check out. So spending a couple days in Tbilisi just to really get to know it and learn more and start to get into the culture of Georgia. Day 10, heading to Kazbegi, which is a mountain town at the foot of the Kafkas Mountains. And yeah, I mean, there's lots of beautiful hiking and different things in that area. So day 11, we're going to hike up hike up Gergely Trinity Church, which is a Georgian Orthodox church. That's where we're heading up to.
We're hiking up a church?
We're hiking up
How?
to a church. Okay. So we're going to be hiking up Gergely, seeing the big Trinity Church there, which is a Georgian Orthodox church, as well as Gergely Glacier. So today is a hiking day.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then day 12, we are actually going to be heading to the Kakheti region, which is known for its wine. We're going to a town here called, I feel so bad, these pronunciations are horrible, but Signagal. Okay, it's the city of love in Georgia. It's high on a hill with fortified walls, and again, this area is known for its wine. And this wine dates back to, the history of wine here dates back to 6000 BC. So this is one of the oldest wine growing.
6,000 BC. How?
Okay. This is one of the oldest wine growing places in the world.
Is
and
this
probably the oldest one that's still producing wine.
Is this the orange wine?
You can get orange wine here. There's
Okay.
lots of other wines. It's like, what's the wine that we get at M Cellars and Riccatelli, like different grapes like that. But known for its wine. So we'd be staying in Signagal and doing a 2-day wine tour and exploring the city here. So going on wine tours, visiting wineries, visiting vineyards in this area. Again, this is a mountainous country, so beautiful vineyards in the area. And also exploring the city of love here in this beautiful fortified city as well. And then day 14, heading back to Tbilisi to explore it a little bit more, but then also get ready to head home. So in this 2 weeks, to recap, we are going to Slovenia and Georgia, which are not close together, but cool places to go check out. And I thought with the history, some of the wine, caves, lakes, hiking, all are really good things where you can be where, what, how, and just be astounded by the natural beauty, but also the beauty of the cities as well. So day 1, again, to recap, Ljubljana. Days 2 and 3, Lake Bled. Day 4, Lake Bohinj. Day 5, or exploring some of the caves in the country. Day 6, Piran. Day 7, Ljubljana, and then also flying to Georgia. Days 8 and 9 is Tbilisi. Days 10 and 11 are the Kazbegi area. Days 12 and 13 is the Kakheti wine region. And then day 14 is heading back to Tbilisi.
Dang.
Yeah. What do you think? Did it cover that? I don't really know what you were expecting with that.
When I don't really know what I was expecting either when I initially said those words. As I've been thinking about them more, I was kind of thinking Transylvania.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it.
That's okay.
I don't know.
This sounds like a really cool itinerary. It sounds like a quick itinerary.
It is. I mean, I think
you love
could
quick
do,
itineraries.
But like Slovenia is a smaller country that you could, I think, do. You could do this in a week.
Yeah.
And be good. Yeah. Georgia, it is a smaller country too, but yeah, I mean, it is further to get to fly there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No vampire lore, but a lot of fun.
You know, what, where, and how really didn't scream vampire to me, I'll be honest. But
I mean, it didn't to me either when I said
until
it.
Just
so
now.
Until
okay.
just now.
Yeah.
I really like that itinerary. One thing that I enjoy about this series is how differently we plan trips.
Okay.
You are very much like here's what we're doing day 1 and here's what we're doing day 2 and here's what we're doing day 3. And I am more like the way that I always approach trips is, hey, we're going to be here for like days 1 through 5. During that time, here are some things that we would do. And I think that that's kind of neat because it is a nice blend. Like when we plan trips together, I think it is like, I don't know if I'm more big picture and you're more granular, or maybe you're just both big picture and little picture, and I'm just kind of waving to anyone who's coming by, and I'm just happy to be on the train.
I don't know. I mean, you planned our trip to Peru and you did a great job.
Yeah, but yeah. I do, that is...
But I did plan some of the things like where we were staying and things and how to get to and from each place. So I guess I did do some of the logistic.
I'm a big picture guy, maybe.
But you're a restaurant guy. Like it's so funny. Whenever we plan trips together, I feel like you'll come up with things you want to do and give me a list. And I'm like, okay, I'll figure out how to fit this in an itinerary. And I sort of like handle a lot of it. And then you're like, but I'll do restaurants.
I'm also very helpful though.
Yes, you are. You are.
All right.
You do a great job carrying the bags.
Hey,
No, I'm just kidding.
Someone's gotta.
I've seen some TikTok videos of like people's husband. Like it's just basically like my husband is like the ultimate passenger princess. Like he's like, where are we going? Don't know. Passports? Well, I have them. Like I'm the one with the passports, the plane tickets on my phone and all this stuff. And you're just like, oh, great. I just had to show up.
There have been like quite a few times where I will like walk up to the gate and I'm carrying all of our bags, and the lady or the gate check agent will say, your ticket, please. And I'm like, oh, I don't have that. And then
that's why I'm nervous about you flying to Paris to meet me for the Olympics.
And then you'll have them, and I'm just, but I have a smile on my face, and I'm just happy to be boarding, and I'm just bringing the bags. So
you do a great job.
I do. That is really where I shine.
No, but I also am like, oh well, I am also like way too like I like having I like knowing where both the passports are, and like I like knowing that I've got the plane tickets on my phone. Like I like that better. Like I would have a hard time
if I were to have those.
Yes, letting you have it. Not that I don't think you could. You're a responsible adult human. I hope you can.
We'll find out.
But like, I don't know. I just like it to have it. I like that control.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's fine. Alrighty. My itinerary.
Okay.
The 3 words that you gave me were fjords,
okay,
castles, and bread. Bread.
I must have been hungry. I don't know.
Like one of those is not like the others.
I had to throw you for a loop a little bit.
And
like
you did.
I couldn't just be like 3 things of one country. You know what I mean?
After the softball of South America, when you were like, "Are you ready, buddy? This is going to be coming at you soon."
I threw a fastball. A curveball this time.
The curveball.
I knew you could handle it.
This was really difficult. I spent a lot of time on this, and I'm still not like confident. I'm not even confident that you haven't been to this country now that I'm saying it, which is an issue. But when you said those, my initial thoughts that I started writing down were Norway, Iceland, and Russia.
Okay.
That I thought like I could get those 3 things.
I haven't been to any of those.
Okay, well that's great because I did choose one. Out of those 3, which would you, setting aside like Russia and everything going on right now, so really between Norway and Iceland, which one would you like? If I'm like days 1 through 4, we are starting in, and you're like crossing your fingers over there, and you're like, oh man, I hope it's Norway or I hope it's Iceland.
I think I'd be happy with either.
Okay, but if you had to pick one,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like 4 days in Iceland would be easier than 4 days in Norway. If that's what you're doing. I'm
not doing it. No.
Okay.
The other thing I've been doing is we're spending the entire 2 weeks in one country.
Okay.
So Norway or Iceland. Or really...
Did you come up with 2 itineraries based on how I answer this? Is
no,
that what you did?
No, I only have one.
Okay. I'm not going to answer. I'm going to like either. I think I'd be happy with either.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I'm looking at this, I'm doing my research and I'm trying to decide between these. First off, would you like to share what a fjord is? I'm sorry. It was one of your 3 defining words for the European continent?
I know what it is. I just don't know how to describe it. You know what I mean?
No, I do not.
Okay, a fjord is like...
Here we go.
It's kind of like a sound area. Like sounds, but there's like mountains and like rivers and... I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I know what it is. If you're like, that's a fjord, I'm like, yeah, that's a fjord, but I don't know how to describe it.
A fjord is a sound, yeah, when it's spoken. But what if it's when it's written?
No, like, can you just give the official definition of a fjord?
The look of panic in your face when I asked you what a fjord was. A fjord is a long, narrow sea inlet with steep sides or cliffs created by a...
Mountain? Glacier?
How is a
by
mountain?
By a glacier.
Yes,
okay.
A glacier. Mountain? Now you're panicking. Now this is going...
I knew, like, okay. It's like you know what it is, but you don't know how to describe it. You know what I mean?
Give me a word, and I'll see if I can just...
An inlet.
An inlet.
I've got you now, don't I?
No. An inlet is a body of water that is, quite literally going into an area of land.
Okay, look it up now.
Look up what the word inlet is?
Yeah, look up what it actually means.
Okay, hold on. What is an inlet? An inlet is quite literally a small arm of the sea, a lake, or a river. Exactly what I said.
That's not how you described it. That's not how you described it.
How did I not describe it that way?
Nope. Do
you know what an isthmus is? A small, narrow strip of land connecting 2 larger pieces of land.
See, again, I would know what it is. I just like...
Is that what you were picturing?
Yes. Kind of.
Oh, boy.
All right, we've already gone off the rails. Why don't you keep talking about fjords?
Fjords, which are?
They are a piece
How did you forget already?
A piece of a sea or ocean that comes inland with steep cliffs that are formed by glaciers.
Nice. Alrighty. So I'm over here between Norway and Iceland, and where I actually started my research was bread. Because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with that. So
it has to be good bread, too. It can't just be like, oh, they make a bread.
Which was my fear. So...
Side note, I think I've been like sad about bread lately because like every time I go to our grocery store and I get a baguette because we need a baguette for something, I'm always incredibly sad about how soft the baguettes are. And like, I don't know, the way the way our grocery store makes baguettes is terrible because it like the way that they roll it.
Why don't you start making baguettes?
Because
then?
It's hard to make baguettes.
Oh, well, maybe.
But that's their job.
Their job is to sell groceries.
The people at the bakery,
their
job
not
is
an
to
artisanal
bake
baker.
That's what they advertise as.
Well, then why don't you get the baguette at a different baker?
Because I don't want to go elsewhere.
Well, seems like this is a you issue.
Okay.
Princess Inlet. Alrighty. I started with bread. Mm-hmm. On the Visit Norway website. Okay. Direct quote. Norwegians' favorite food? Bread. Every day.
I'm basically Norwegian.
Hold on. Every day, always, we just love bread. Norwegians are at the top of the list when it comes to who eats the most bread in the world.
I'm cracking
Direct quote from Visit
I'm,
Norway's website.
I'm cracking up because it reminds me of the Oprah's. Remember when she did like the Weight Watchers commercials and she's like, I love bread.
I do not remember that.
I remember that so much. So anytime it's like, I love bread, I'm like, oh, I love bread. Like I just picture that. But
I do love bread.
I get it. I mean, maybe we just need to go to Norway because I too love bread.
I
would
saw
like
that.
to eat it all the time.
I saw that and I was like, we're going to Norway. Days 1 through 4, we are going to be exploring Oslo. Mm-hmm. Here we are going to be visiting Akershus Fortress, which is a medieval castle.
How do you say that again?
Akershus Fortress, a medieval castle built in the late 13th century. that is now used for a variety of purposes, including a few museums as well as the Royal Mausoleum.
Okay.
There's also, to scratch that castle itch of yours, the Royal Palace, which was first used in the 1840s and where the monarchy currently sits and where the king and queen live. Mm-hmm. We would also visit what is a very famous park, Vigeland Park, a sculpture park with over 200 sculptures by Gustav Vigeland. There's also the Oslo Opera House. We're here for bread, so we would... there's actually a map of Norway that you can like scroll in, and it will show you where all the artisanal bakers are around the country.
I did not know that Norway was this obsessed with bread, and I'm pleasantly surprised to hear it. See, I thought we would go to two different places, and I was thinking of like Latvia. I know they're big for their like rye bread or something like that, you know?
No, this is one place and one place only.
And it has bread.
Well, and then I started like going down the rabbit hole of bread, and I knew this, that Norwegians made very good bread and were very famous for their bread. There are bread making courses online taught by Norwegians that I found. Isn't that cool?
Well, okay, what kind of bread do they make?
They make a whole bunch of different breads.
Like rye bread?
They have rye bread.
Pumpernickel?
I didn't see pumpernickel in my research, but I did see a lot of rye bread, a lot of like the crusty, rustic, like country bread.
I love a good crusty, rustic country bread.
Okay. Love a good crusty, rustic. But yes, so like I said, we would also take a food tour. It would kind of be fun to do like a little cooking class there as well if they have one. So
learn how to make bread.
Yeah. So there's those 4 days in Oslo. Now, this is where I was saying that we approach things differently.
Okay.
I have days 5 through 14.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. And it does actually make like a very nice little circuitous route down in what I will call like the wider part of Norway. What?
Nothing. Just keep going.
So from Oslo, over the next days 5 through 14, we are going to be exploring villages and fjords. Okay? One of the world's most visually stunning train rides goes from Oslo to Åndalsnes. And you're giggling over there, but do you know, I was so petrified of mispronouncing these that I went to like 3 different YouTube videos for each of these words as to how to pronounce them, and I have them written out phonetically in my notes.
I tried looking up mine, but I stumble over. I also can't read my handwriting most of the time.
That's an issue.
That is an issue.
But this train ride goes from Oslo to Åndalsnes, and then there is a transfer from Åndalsnes to Ålesund, which is known as the entrance to... Oh man, this is a hard one. It's a fjord. Geianer Fjord. Okay. So, with the fjords, there are obviously cruise options. Mm-hmm. There's also kayaking options at some of these. So it really, they're all like dotted along, and they're all, they have these like very picturesque and charming little villages. So it really would be, I don't have like here's what we're doing like on day 6 and here's what we're doing on day 7, because it really would just kind of be like how we want to progress through this route, and maybe you want to spend a little bit more time in one area and not the other. But anyway, with Geianer Fjord, I said that we would take a cruise, admire the stunning scenery on the way to Bergen. Bergen is a charming waterfront community with postcard views and architecture.
Is that how you pronounce like what I would read as Bergen? Like Bergen?
No, Bergen is Bergen.
Oh.
Bergen and...
It's Bergen.
No, well, Bergen, if I'm... Bergen, if YouTube if I watched the wrong one. It is Bryggen.
Okay.
You have seen a picture of this village because I have seen a picture of this village.
Okay.
So this village is located in Bergen, which is an area surrounded by 7 mountains.
Okay.
Okay, so this is probably an area that we would want to spend a little bit more time in. Maybe go on a hike and view the fjords and the surrounding landscape from like a different perspective. I always think that that's cool to not only view something from like ground level, but also like obviously if there's an aerial view, like Cape Town comes to mind with Table Mountain. I just think that that's like a really, really cool kind of option there.
Yeah.
From Bergen, we would go to Flom to experience the Narrowfjord, where we would kayak, and this is really cool. Okay. There is the opportunity, cross your fingers, to view porpoises, otters, dolphins, and seals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. Otters?
Otters.
I really want to see otters.
Quite possibly one of your favorite sea mammals.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I think so.
Or I'll say aquatic mammals.
Yeah.
So there's
Seals
that.
are pretty cute though too.
They are.
Especially, I like how they like flip. You know how they like kind of
Flip.
bounce around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of me. So that is Narrowfjord. Then we would travel to Erlendsfjord, which is Norway's longest fjord.
We are not. There's no shortage of fjords in this.
No.
Yeah.
That was your first word. You're getting fjords.
And bread, apparently.
And bread.
And bread. Everywhere we go, there's bread along the way.
Bread along the way.
We're stopping at all the bakeries.
Erlendsfjord is Norway's longest fjord. There's more hiking opportunities there. And we have the famous Flom Railway, which is one of the steepest railways in the world. I was reading about this, and for, I don't know if it's a majority of the train ride or what have you, but I'll say for an appreciable amount, it actually may be a majority. There's like it's over 5.5% grade.
Wow.
Which I thought was pretty impressive. And then from there, make our way back to Oslo. The best part of this, like you said, following that map of where all the artisanal bakeries are. And as we're going around and we're kayaking and we're hiking and we're traveling, we're going to need bread.
Exactly.
It's just carbo loading.
I love the time that we went hiking here and you just grabbed didn't we just have a baguette and we were just eating a baguette? Like, yeah.
I think
we'll just get like a giant loaf of bread and just eat that while hiking.
I believe I've also brung. Wow.
Brung.
I believe I've also brought an entire like circular loaf of bread
like
in my
bag.
bag. Yeah, in my backpack before, and I'll just like eat off of it.
Yeah.
But that's it. So start in Oslo, explore Oslo with the castles and kind of like all of the stuff that the city has to offer. Those delicious bakeries, and then make that circuitous route as we're exploring the fjords and the mountains and everything there before making it back to Oslo. But that is how I would spend 2 weeks in Europe, given the words fjords, castles, and bread. How did I do?
I think you did really well.
I
really do want to go to Norway. That is a place
I do too.
I want to go.
Also, here's something. When you think of Norway, what do you think of?
I didn't think bread. I mean, I knew that like bread is a big thing across like many European countries, but like yeah, but fjords, like
is that what you think of?
Yeah, fjords,
I think of polar bears.
Northern, well, yeah, but that's
I think
only
Svalbard.
way. Yeah, you got to be like way up there.
Svalbard is way up there.
Oh yeah, like it's a long flight from Svalbard just to Oslo.
Way up there.
Were you looking at that?
Yeah, but I was like,
how far is Tromsø?
I am not sure about that.
Any chance of seeing the Northern Lights there?
Depending on when you go.
In Bergen. Oh, okay. I didn't know. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to explore more of like the Nordic countries and things like that.
One thing that I really, really like about... Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
One thing I really like about this series is the fact that like it really helps to paint a picture of how you would spend time in a given country. Because for me, like when I think Norway, like I said, I think polar bears. But this, like putting together this itinerary, this was the most difficult one for me so far. But like even for my one for North America too, Guatemala, I was like, this sounds like an awesome trip that I would book for like this year.
Yeah.
Like it just sounds like a ton of fun.
I would book any of these trips.
Oh yeah. And like that's the point.
But I get where you're like, wow, like I need to add this. This needs to go up higher on our priority list. Like after doing it. Yeah, for sure.
It just sounds like a ton of fun. So how did I do?
You did a really great job.
Okay. Would you go on this trip?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I really want to go to Norway. I really love that you plan this full like 2 weeks in Norway and exploring fjords. Love that bread is a thing. Don't they have like this brown cheese thing that they eat too on the bread?
I'm not sure.
I want to say
cheese was not one of your words.
No, I know. I think that I want to say it's Norway that has like the brown cheese that they put on their, or cheese-like product. I don't really know that they put on their bread, but bread's great. I love it. Love a good fjord. Love a good bread. Love a good castle. So fantastic. I think you nailed it. What about me?
Yeah, I really liked yours.
Were there any places that you kind of pictured with your itinerary?
Well, I said Transylvania, but like not when I originally said it. I really like the inclusion of Lake Bled. Yeah. I thought that was a really, really good one because that is something that I've talked about in the past. I don't know. It just looks so peaceful.
It does. I think it'd be fun to go there in the summer and get to swim and and hike and all that good stuff.
Yeah, yours sounds like a lot of fun as well.
Thanks. Well, that's Europe. That's our 2 weeks in Europe. Plan for each other just using 3 words. But let us know your thoughts. What would your 3 words be? Where would you guys like to go for a trip in Europe? I always think it's fun if you want to do this with your partner and see how you guys would plan a trip for each other. Let us know what you guys decide. If you guys end up doing that, what kind of itineraries you came up with. I always love to hear from you guys. But you can always reach us on Instagram and Facebook at Worldwide Honeymoon, X at WW Honeymoon, or email cat@worldwidehoneymoon.com. But thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to rate and review our podcast. It takes less than a few minutes and really helps other people find us. Also, if you're enjoying this awesome free information on both the blog and podcast, when you're booking your next trip, head over to worldwidehoneymoon.com/resources and use the links provided. We earn a small commission at no cost to you when you book through these links, and these are all brands and companies we know, love, and use, like Skyscanner for finding the best flight prices, World Nomads for the best travel insurance, TripAdvisor for hotel bookings and reviews, and even Amazon for all of your travel purchases.
Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Wherever you are, wherever you go, remember to make every day a worldwide honeymoon.